Summer through fall, I hear starry eyes for you. Just give a call and we'd run anywhere with a view. Yeah, and you're Mercedes, tell me I'm your dream come true. We threw a fuel on the fire, but it burned out quick. Adored the thought of love, but it never did stay. Don't you think the truth tastes so bittersweet? We're losing another feeling and we get high on the streets. I think we hit the ceiling, babe. Death for you, death for you and me. Strange to believe that we were just a fantasy. Yeah, we're self-deceived and thinking we were meant to be. Don't you think the truth tastes so bittersweet? We're losing another feeling and we get high on the streets. I think we hit the ceiling, babe. Death for you, death for you and me. Staying up all in the west side, turning all my days into nights. I was waiting up all in the west side, waiting for your call, but you had someone else in mind. All I had was love for you, love for you, yeah, yeah. All I had was love for you, love for you, yeah, yeah. Was I just enough to get you through? Breaking my heart, I was a fool for you. All I had was love for you, love for you, yeah, yeah. You were playing me the whole time, telling all your lies to both sides. You were playing me the whole time. No one there to break my fall. Blink of an eye and now you're not mine. All I had was love for you, love for you, yeah, yeah. All I had was love for you, love for you, yeah, yeah. Was I just enough to get you through? Breaking my heart, I was a fool for you. All I had was love for you, yeah, yeah.
love me, 'cause I don't think I love me anymore. Maybe I think too much, so I drink to rush all my demons out the door. Tell me that it's all inside my head. Call it OCD, tell me it's you, not me, 'cause it's driving me mad. I don't think I'm losing my mind, building all these walls over time. Every time I lose my way, I find you. I know that when fears start to hit me, know that you're the one to lift me. I find you, yeah, I'll find you. Myself and pride, my insecurities haunting my memories, 'cause I'm holding them inside. Let go, put my thoughts back into words. Feels like I let me down, ain't got no golden crown, I'm just trying to be right. I don't think I'm losing my mind, building all these walls over time. Every time I lose my way, I find you. I know that when fears start to hit me, know that you're the one to lift me. I find you, yeah, I'll find you.
from 24/7 to pretending like I never met you. No, it's all for the best, cause I know we're a mess every time we're together. Going out of my mind, and I wish I could lie, tell you that it gets better. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months where I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I can't seem to. I can't seem to move. Now that you're gone, they say time should heal, but it's been too long. Couple months that I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to move on. I can't seem to. I remember when the bar.
Alrighty, we are good to go. Welcome everybody to Concordia University playing against Baker University here in our Week 1 League of Legends matchup. I'm excited to bring this action to you today, and we have got one heck of a match coming forward. Let's go. I am joined by Josh, the Iron Praetor, and we will be bringing you today's game. Hopefully you can see what I've got going on in front of me. Josh, how are you doing tonight?
I can indeed see what you have in front of me, and let me tell you, it looks spicy. We have a lot of health and a lot of tank in this game. Looking at it so far, I think it's going to be a fun game. That's all. That's all I really have to say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you see a pretty tanky lineup. I'll run through it real quick. On the Gnar, you're going to have El Grigazo, Vi on Mr. Boogie Woogie, Vagar, let's say Vagar, being played by the Bug, and then in the bot lane, you're going to have Misfortune and Leona between Kalen and Sands of Time. On the opposing side, for Baker University, we have Dr. Mundo being played by Steva. We have Sejuani being played by Olik Talv? I'm just going to call him Olik. Corky by Neglect. Jin and Nautilus in the bot lane by Slayer and Blosif. So, yeah, you got like 3 tanks down on the side of, on the side of Baker. But Vi was the very first pick out of Concordia. So what are your thoughts there when you think about, armor shred? The Gnar is also pretty decent at that. Misfortune, not great, but obviously Kraken Slayer exists in the game.
So Misfortune
go
can
ahead.
go a number of different builds that I think could potentially be effective, at least on the armor pen, armor shred side of things. She can build Black Cleaver depending on her build. She can build the one that gives armor pen and makes all your physical damage slow. I forget what the item name is. But that gives you flat armor pen. You can get just general armor pen. You can get the Kraken Slayer, obviously, as you mentioned. Looking at Baker's team, though, Mundo's going to be building very healthy. Sejuani is going to be building healthy. Nautilus is going to have a little bit of health. And so part of me wonders if she shouldn't also, amongst her other items in the build, maybe consider getting like Blade of the Ruined King or something, just to get that little bit of more percent health damage off onto the enemy team. That also being said, I think Vygar's ultimate scales based on missing health. I believe they changed that to be an execute. So regardless of the health, Vigar's obviously going to scale well, infinitely, basically. Um, and I don't hate the Vi, and here's why. Sejuani is a very weak early jungler because she's a tank. She brings CC to the table, but not a huge amount of anything else. So if you don't land that CC, or your laner doesn't have enough damage, it doesn't amount to much, right? Vi, on the other hand, very strong early game. Uh, and even going into the late game, her passive with the penetrating blows is going to be reducing that armor on Baker's tanks, the Mundo, the Sejuani, the Nautilus. In addition to her just being able to, in certain cases, if she gets into the back line, just straight blow up the Corki and the Jhin, right? We've seen Vi be super explosive before, so I honestly I don't hate it. I think both sides have a decently balanced comp, and it's really just gonna come down to who who gets the best advantages and who plays the best. I think.
Yeah, no, and I'm actually really excited for this because it is one of the first games. Concordia and Baker, we've played each other before, and honestly, when you look at the in-game lobby, which you guys didn't get to see, but we did, of course, everybody's pretty even when it comes to level as well and rank. So it's going to be an awesome fight because both teams are so close together. And so I'm the same with you. Really excited. Really hoping that El Green Gazo up here can take this lane and just tear apart the Mundo. He should be the lane bully in this 100%. And the Mundo is going to have a hard time farming if he can. I mean, we're going to see here a little aggression, but the Mundo is doing a pretty good job hitting the cleavers, staying healthy, keeping El Green Gazo down to like half health.
Oh yeah,
but he's going to start falling behind, I think, a little bit once things get fired up.
Yeah, and plus, while it may look like Gnar's losing that trade, when Gnar actually triggers the Mega Transformation, he does get some of that health back. So he,
yes,
in essence, does have a decent amount of regen. I think one thing, and this is way too early to tell, but one thing that could potentially scare me late game is Corki. I don't know if you've been watching any Corki in pro play.
There has been some insane Corki going around. So I 100%.
Once the build comes online and he starts popping them rockets off into the back line, squishies beware. The team will have to find hard engage onto the Corki because if he pokes your team down just a little bit, it's devastating. So I'm really interested to see if we see any of that, or if we see a more standard Corki build, which could also obviously come out. I'm just excited for today,
just over. Let's just go. Let's go, baby. We got League of Legends. It's regular season in the NECC. We are extremely excited for this. If you couldn't tell, we are going to see a gank and a counter gank going through into this mid lane. Mr. Boogie Woogie is going to end up winning out on that, as the Sejuani early is not the strongest, especially compared to the Vi. Just a little bit more power in her kit as opposed to or just more damage built in than on the other side. So we'll see a little bit of a skirmish, but nothing going to happen there quite yet. Neglect will be pushing in. Obviously, he's got a little bit more push potential than the Veigar. But, across the board. Otherwise, I mean, kind of just running standardly even, Not a lot of early action here quite yet. We might see something here in the mid lane because that was a ping from Vi going that direction, and the jungler from Baker is headed the opposite direction. So perhaps an opportunity here if he sits around long enough. The camera is dying to go that direction here any second. And there is going to be a slight engage, but nothing going to happen there as he'll just back off. So, we'll see what else happens here. In the top lane, in a little bit of trouble is Stiva. He's going to start just getting poked out. El Green Gazo sort of getting used to this lane now, starting to you start to read your lane opponent. But down here in the bot lane, we do have Sands of Time getting grabbed. He does flash, so he can try to get a little bit further here. As there's the slows. Sands of Time, though, is going to get killed. First blood going to the support, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's just That's just the bot not necessarily reading the jungle location and playing a little too aggressive, and it just gets capitalized on. The
Yeah.
Nautilus jumps forward with the hook, followed up with the Jhin and the Sejuani utility respectively. Uh, and so give me your thoughts on Jhin. Personally,
Yes.
I don't like Jhin. I don't think he does enough damage. I know that
What?
he's a utility ADC, and that if you really get ahead with him, I feel like he can pop off. But a lot of the times I watch Jhin, and I'm just like, this is so boring. I learned to count to 4 in elementary school. I don't want to learn it anymore. Just give me something fast. Give me the Jinx. Give me the Kaisa. Give
Listen.
me
All
give me.
right. You want to talk about damage and safety? You talk about Jhin. Jhin is honestly, in my opinion, one of the heavy hitters that also basically can stay safe in his lane. It's basically, yes, Jinx outscales. Yes, there's a couple others, but he just hits so hard in the mid game, and if he gets there sooner, he just will just pick apart a team. So like, yes, he's only got the limit, to his attacks. Yes, he's only got 4. His ultimate, it hits really hard. Sometimes it'll miss really hard, but I think he's pretty dang consistent. That's why he's picked a lot. That's why he's banned a lot. That's why he, all in all, I honestly think is extremely strong. Just because he can consistently put out the damage and has the ability to combo with someone else like the Nautilus. And his combo ability with really strong supports, all of your stun supports like Leona, Nautilus, anyone else like that, he really takes the cake there. And then can put out the damage, especially if he has his 4th shot up, guaranteed crit, really helps with that. So, yeah, I disagree kind of with how you said, just boring and just count off. No, he's got so much damage in his kit, and he's got this, just so much good follow-up with the supports that are currently heavy in the meta. So we'll have to see, because honestly, I expected the bot lane to go somewhat more in favor of them right now. But we'll see if Concordia can get some damage off here, as there's a lot of damage coming down. And Sands of Time, that's just the power right now of the Leona. We have Neglect coming down. He's going to find Caitlyn, or the MF, do a little bit of damage, but mostly Sands of Time will just be falling here. Boogie Woogie is around, but not able to follow anything up. So after a strong engage from Concordia, it unfortunately will go over to Baker because of the timing of that roam from the mid lane Neglect. So we'll also see a dragon getting started up here. Top lane is being about as boring as it possibly can be when you have 2 tanks up in that area. So down the Leona. We'll see how things go. Meanwhile, in the top lane, that actually might be kind of a big deal. We'll see in a minute, as that's going to be the bug getting stunned. Mr. Boogie Woogie trying to find something, but he's only level 5. So he's not able to get anything figured out, and that's Neglect getting a double kill, sending this Corki a little bit further into the mid game, which might be a problem for Concordia.
Yeah, definitely. That Corki's starting to work up a bounty. I'm actually a little surprised at the way the bot lane's gone. I do understand that they've obviously been pushed up and have put themselves in a risky position for the ganks that have been successful. Obviously, first from the jungler and getting the summoners out from Concordia, and then the follow-up by the Corki roam down to kill the Leona. Personally, I think that when it comes to Misfortune versus Jhin, I always felt like Misfortune was a harder hitter earlier in the game. She builds lethality a lot. She tends to really just smack you in the face, and it hurts, right? And so I looked at this. I was like, 2 tanky supports that are about even versus an early game ADC and a mid game ADC, right? And I was kind of like, well, I see Concordia winning that lane, right? And maybe it is just because of them being too far forward and not respecting the jungle and the mid from the other team. But I'm just a little surprised as to how poorly it's played against them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I would agree. You know, it should be a lot more bully, especially because Leona, I think, still wins that fight, even though, you know, I guess technically the Nautilus is also a tanky support with stuns, but the Leona just has so much more in her pocket that she should be winning that. And
think
when
in
you
a
saw
very,
the...
in a,
Go ahead.
I think in a very, very long fight, Nautilus will win just because of his shields.
That's
Eventually,
true. That's true.
but that's a very extended fight. In terms of quick trades, I would expect the Leona Misfortune to win.
So yeah, we'll see a trade here. The quick trade coming through. Blosif starting to take the damage, and there's the ultimate from the MF. Does catch him on the very tail end, but that's a really good flash there as the ultimate does come out. We won't be able to see that though, as the bug is going to find himself in a different situation. Oklat is going to be trying to get the attack here, and they will find the bug. Mr. Boogie Woogie to run for his life. Those Qs are going to come firing out of Neglect, but nothing to happen there. As a blue buff will be stolen away after the kill. And down bot lane, it does look like Kaelin was able to escape from from Slayer. So not only that, they'll probably end up picking up this Rift Herald, which will be pretty big for them as well. So right now, advantage mid lane, honestly, is starting to play out in this overall game between Concordia and Baker.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that the Sejuani had the XP advantage, both earlier during the fight near the dragon, and currently. Kind of would have personally expected the Vi to be out farming, but again, I haven't played either of those in a while because I don't play jungle.
Yeah,
so.
I would say that right now, I mean, I think Mr. Boogie Woogie's rotations have not been the cleanest.
Okay.
He's been kind of, just from what I've seen where he's running, like right now, look, he's running around up in their jungle. Assist pings coming down as they are looking for him. Neglect is going to get attacked onto. He has to use the package to get away, but Mr. Boogie Woogie possibly it will escape. Somebody flashed there, and I think Blosif missed his flash over the wall. And I mean, was that his actual flash? Or was that a hex? That was his actual flash. So yeah, no hex flash gone there. As El Grigazo does get you know, kind of some action going on up here. He does get the Mega Gnar though, so he tries to stay healthy. He will end up using his flash and the ultimate coming through from Olik, and that just means that they will end up getting the kill, and they're gonna pop that Rift Herald up here as well. So
yeah, the ult and the cleaver together, that was just he didn't have much health left anyways,
no.
but that was a lot of burst damage at once, and
yeah, that it definitely was going to try and get him stunned up so that, yeah, the Q, the cleaver could come through from Mundo. We will see Concordia, though, because of that gank top, they are going to try and prioritize taking out the dragon here, which would be really a great pickup for them, especially if they are going to lose out on that top fight. So they do get the dragon in exchange for the life of their top laner, and the turret doesn't quite fall yet. So overall, we're just gonna call it even.
This is so I'm gonna go out and say it right now. This is a very interesting soul for this game, because you've got strong tanks on Baker's side, and you've got Leona and Gnar, who are both going to be benefiting from the tankiness of the Mountain Drake anyways. But just the heavy tanks in the Mundo and the Sejuani, plus the bonus armor and MR from the Mountain Drake buff, if they happen to pick any of them up.
Yeah, I just kind of started, like, I was like, man, which Drake is it? And I kind of looked at the map, saw the map, change. So I was like, it's a mountain. Yeah, no, that could really come into play. And on the other side, if Concordia is able to kind of benefit from this, and that's going to be Neglect using his flash, he'll go down. And we'll see Steva now also taking a lot of damage. He's going to get stunned up there. Not going to end up going down as he pops his ultimate. Trying to stay alive. Mr. Boogie Woogie coming up at the last second to help El Grigazo saving his life. But wait a minute, it's not quite done. Oh, Steve is able to get out of the way of the stun just in time, so he'll live for just a little bit longer. But that is a pretty nice amount of gold going into the pocket of Mr. Boogie Woogie, who has been struggling a little bit, especially CS-wise, up against Oleg.
Yeah, definitely. And it is, I think that gold went to, I think you just said Boogie. I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. Boogie Woogie has 1 kill under him, so it went to him.
That shutdown gold is where you want it. You want it on Boogie. You want it on that buy to kind of get back into a good position to make more of these power plays across the map. Just checking in on the Corki, it does look like the Corki is going the very fun build that I've tended to see a lot watching pro play. You go Manamune into Luden Echo, into usually Ravenous Hydra, and you just, one rocket just explodes everything in the back line. It's...
Ooh, so a lot of damage coming down, as this actually could still go in Concordia's direction, but man, really, really good timing on that ultimate from the Misfortune. She does go down, so the win does go to Baker in this in this fight. You know, but it was still close. It could have really been interesting if the double kill was picked up by the support of all people. We might see possibly a top lane attempt. We will see it here after El Grigazo comes out of his Mega Gnar form. He's going to use a nice little jump, try to avoid something there. Avoids a Q. So they will have to tower dive him and able to get this. It looks like it will go very well for
And they just killed the
team.
tower.
They just kill the tower, too. It doesn't even matter. They just get it all. Everything they could want and more given to them there. So 9 kills to 2. We're seeing a very big gold differential starting to pop in here at 17 minutes. So very much in favor for Baker right now. But really, I think we could start seeing things going in the other direction. That's Caitlyn, Misfortune trying to get away. A lot of damage does come down onto Slayer, as Sands of Time is now just sort of being left to his own death, perhaps. He does end up getting away, I think. Unless that ultimate wants to come through from Slayer, which it will, but not going to get anything from that. I wish we would have seen what happened there. I just literally had to look at the ult cooldown for ultimates to see that he was using his ult, and I was like, okay, cool. And a quick thing for people watching, this is a best of 3, and so this will be one match going on now, and they will have at least
that
another...
made me... that really got me excited.
That really got you excited there, huh? You're ready for a best of 3 there, mate?
Sorry, I've interrupted you. I'm taking your spotlight.
You are.
We're
going to see Mr. Boogie Woogie getting caught out here. Lots of CC. Too much CC. Goodbye, Vi. So, yeah, it is a best of 3. So this does give Concordia an opportunity to try and change things up, maybe pick or ban something a little bit differently, and give them an opportunity to come back and do something else. So, yes, absolutely, it is a game that even though Concordia could be having a rough time here, they could find their way into something better coming up. So, we will see the first of these Mountain Drakes going over to the side of... Ooh, that's a really nice stun there. He was going to throw up the cage. We'll see if anything happens. Steva is just going to hang out, have a good time in the middle of the cage, not worry about it. And Neglect really just bullying on this Corki. Not as much now as he was before, but I mean, like, across all lanes, they have it pushed. We'll see maybe if this, the new feature implemented into the game of bounties goes in favor of Concordia at all, but I just don't see it, as a lot of those towers are still pretty much full health.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see it if they decide to try and contest an objective. You know, Boogie goes in and gets clean smite steal off potentially. But just look at the power of this Corki here. 2 hits, Boogie's down to half health.
Yeah, that's insane. And a 1 hit there in Sands of Time nearly at a quarter of his health gone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it becomes an absolute menace just because he can spam them so much. We're going to see Mr. Boogie Woogie going in. He just about is dead, though, so he's not going to have anything else. Sands of Time is in there. Massive ultimate coming down. Will this be enough? Kalen is not able to get it. They do find themselves on the running side of this. No kills going over as Neglect barely gets his corgi booty out of that fight. So, Baker able to pick up 2 in the fight and will now be sieging down second tier mid. Will they find the bug on the way out? Yes, they will. And Oleg is going to take a lot of damage. He'll probably take one more turret shot. He does. It's not going to be enough, though. Not enough damage. I surely would have thought that the damage ramp might have gotten him, but no, not quite enough.
Not enough heat buildup. Little miscommunication it seemed like, because
yes,
Boogie went super deep and Leona was ready to follow him in, and then
the damage
rest of the damage got there eventually.
Yeah, well, and that's the problem, is that the damage just showed up too late. And obviously that can happen when you have a Vi and a Leona. I mean, Vi can just go about as balls deep as you want, and then the Leona can just follow up with, you know, a lot of like, you know, hey, yeah, I can get in there too, you know, like deep reaching into their side. So that can kind of happen, and it just happened there where they went in too deep. It couldn't really find any damage after the fact, especially with how low Mr. Boogie Woogie was going in.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if Concordia can just play those fights a little safer. Obviously, we are seeing a lot of damage out of this Misfortune. Like, she is kind of shredding, even though they're tanky. You know, if Neglect is in the middle of that, and if Slayer is in the middle of that, there's going to be a lot of damage coming down onto those members. So it will be interesting to see if in any of these later team fights, someone gets caught out like that, and the Misfortune ult can find all the damage that she wants.
Also a little interesting to see Noah. Are they going to be able to catch him?
Yeah, we're going to see kind of a run here as they do get out in time. Slayer and Neglect both down here. Teleport mid lane comes through for El Gringazo. And also the mid laner for Concordia is going to find his way out. Mr. Boogie Woogie simply getting smacked right now by this Corki. I can tell you right now, there is definitely a Corki ban in the works for this next game.
Yeah,
because
when I saw Corki, I was like, I think I know it's coming.
And so there's a nice stun there. Neglect comes back into the ultimate, but it doesn't go down because there's just too much on the other side. Kalen runs in a straight line and unfortunately gets nailed there. The Bug is also going to find himself in a hairy situation. Once again, the Q's simply falling. And Neglect finds himself a 5th kill. As Slayer will simply tank a turret shot. That's kind of interesting. But, yeah, no, Baker right now just fully in the driver's seat for this game.
Yeah, definitely. The Corki scales really well, and, you know, he gets a couple items, and as you saw, he just starts chunking people. If you don't have anybody building hard tank, and even if you do, you know, they have to be up in the Corki's face, blocking those skill shots, eating that damage, or, you know, even your bruisers just kind of get poked down and they can't engage, or they'll die when they do. Little interesting to me that no grievous wounds yet. I know that Concordia doesn't have a lot of gold to really spend around, and they're just trying to scrap up what they can here and there. But I feel like especially for the Mundo, the Corki's got healing now. A little bit of healing from the fleet footwork on the Jhin. You know, wouldn't be the best. Wouldn't be the worst option. It would be the best. Wouldn't be the worst idea to maybe have somebody try and pick up a little bit of something. But at this point, you know, 2-17.
Yeah, we're going to see another engage coming through here. Sands of Time goes in deep. They're going to try and get Steva and go as deep as they can for him. But that's not even going to happen as he's going to live through it all. The Misfortune now simply going to run. Gets hit by 1, 2, third one will... third one won't kill her, but the fourth one will. And a triple kill going over for Slayer. Yeah, I mean, definitely on the Gnar, because he has those auto attacks, something with Grievous Wounds would be amazing up against Steva. Possibly,
yeah, it might not have been a bad idea.
Yeah, would be a great idea on that character at least. I guess I could see it on Misfortune. She's not going to benefit too much from it. You know, if you get it on one person who does a lot of autos, like that just helps the entire team. So I think that the Gnar really would be the best.
Honestly, what might have been an interesting twist for this game, you've already got a lot of AD with the Gnar and the Vi. Maybe an AP Misfortune with Leandri's % health burn to burn down the tanks a little bit. I don't know. It's an idea. It's not standard. It's not meta. But you know, you just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks, right? What I do think is very important. Misfortune needs to find an off ramp next time so that she can take an exit out of the gen ult instead of running straight through it.
Yeah, no, just taking the same, you know, you got to take some back roads to.
I know you're on a highway, but you gotta look for an exit somewhere.
Yeah, running in a straight line, not usually what is the best. Meanwhile, El Gregazo is gonna get caught here. The Gleb does go to the back because he's gonna get found by the Vi and taken out there. The Misfortune will fire her ult in a really good spot there, try to catch as much damage as she can. Now, meanwhile, on the back side, Mr. Boogie Woogie is still kind of hanging around. He's going to now enter the fight. Let's see if he gets some damage down. He'll find a little bit onto Oakliff, but nah, that's just not going to be enough as Oakliff comes back in. Slayer is also going to be here. Double kill as the Misfortune dodges to the right and gets predicted. So, not gonna be much there, and that will be all she wrote for this
attempt.
Game 1 in this best of 3 series against Baker. So we will go ahead. I guess we'll be right back after. Well, hold on. I'm ending the game before the game's ending. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. So that will be Baker taking those first to best of 5. I will show the pick bans in the next one. I guess I forgot to do that for streams purposes.
I mean, I got to see him.
I know you got to see it, but like streams, like we want to see it. Riots slightly. So yeah, we will we'll show that of course in the next one here. But we'll take a quick look. We'll take a very quick look at my Discord, and then we'll open up the other specific one for League. Hey, I got a.
Good job.
You exchanged 1 honor with not what?
With non-premades.
Okay.
Hey, don't look a key fragment in the mouth.
Yeah, I know. I'm never gonna look a key fragment in the mouth. I mean, a key fragment's a key fragment, baby. Let's go. Yeah. So obviously, we'll look at advanced details here quick. Lots of damage coming out of that Corky Jin. So we'll have to see if Concordia changes things up. I definitely think they will going into this next one. So we'll be right back with the next game coming up here in just a bit.
Woo!
Tender says on the house, you make me wanna fall in love. The weather felt better when we were in it together. Oh, I miss the way we used to talk about nothing. I hate to say I should have seen it coming. Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, baby? No wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving If I wanted to stop, I would've let it go. But I get it, it's alright. 'Cause I can't keep my shit together. Safe, you can't debate that. Don't want shit to get better, 'cause it made me forget it all and I hate that. Last summer, everything was easy. We had it all, didn't we, baby? No wonder you couldn't keep it. It got harder than you thought it would be. You stopped loving me on the dark nights. Now you won't kiss me in the sunlight. Last summer, I know you leave me, 'cause loving me is the easy. Cause loving me is the easy. Cause loving me is the easy.
In my head like a melody, laying back in this bed, playing back what you said, and it's not really helping me. Coming down from this high is a dangerous ride. I'm coasting, out of body floating, lost in my emotions. I've been spinning slowly, trying to keep my head above water. Then you go and pull me under. Crazy thing, I know I'm done for, stuck in this state of wonder. Stuck in this state of wonder, yeah. Stuck in this state of wonder.
넌 날 미치게 해 Yes 빠지게 돼 I don't care 모든 걸 쇠퇴해 전부 잊게 돼 And I just want you right here with me 끝이 없이 우린 floating Lost in your deep oceans 깊이 스며가 slowly
Tryna keep my head above water. Then you go and pull me under. Crazy thing, I know I'm done for, stuck in this state of wonder. Stuck in this state of wonder, yeah. Stuck in this state of wonder. Tryna keep my head above water. Then you go and pull me under. Crazy thing, I know I'm done for, stuck in this state of wonder. You don't have to. No, you don't have to say those words again. Oh no. And you don't have to. No, you don't have to go and explain yourself, 'cause I ain't gonna listen. Yeah, all you wanted was a souvenir to remember it all. Yeah, you tore it apart down to every last piece. Yeah, a souvenir, another story to tell. And I gotta know how to find happiness in the wrong place. 'Cause it never ends, it's there in all ways. It's evident you never change for our sake. Baby, I can't trust it. We're falling now. Your little black book ran out of pages. If you're gonna take it all, then baby, don't waste it. You only want it if you know you're gonna break it. Just another souvenir for the taking. Just take it. Baby, just take it. You don't have to. No, you don't have to say those words again. Oh no. And you don't have to. No, you don't have to go and explain yourself, 'cause I ain't gonna listen. Yeah, all you wanted was a souvenir to remember the fall. To go and tell your friends you were there for it all. A souvenir, just a little postcard for the road. And I just gotta know how to find happiness in the wrong place. 'Cause it never ends, it's there in all ways. It's evident you never change for our sake. Baby, I can't trust it. We're falling now. Your little black book ran out of pages. If you're gonna take it all, then baby, don't waste it. You only want it if you know you're gonna break it. Just another souvenir for the taking. Just take it. Baby, just take it. Just another souvenir for the road. That's the way it goes. Just take it. Baby, just take it.
You love your sticks and stones. You throw them my way to make a point. But I don't have hollow bones, so you'll never take away my voice. You used to be like home, but now the whole place is so destroyed. And I'll survive on my own. I'm stronger than when I started. Even through all the times I hit the ground, I'm stronger than what you wanted. Even through all the times you burned me down.
All right. If we are already locked in and waiting for the spectator delay, that means that everybody's ready to play another game of League of Legends. I am back. I am Coach Ryan Hines, also known as Tom's Dragon, and with me is Josh the Iron Praetor to help bring this game to action, up and running. So, what are you thinking about these picks and bans as we go forward into game number 2 here?
I am thinking that there's not a lot to answer the Cho'Gath. And there's too many ADCs in this game.
There are a lot of AD carries in this game. You know, with the Vel'Koz true damage and the Ashe, there should be something to help. The Darius, yes, he'll be able to bully early, which is kind of the intention there, and the Amumu assisting with that. But you are correct.
I'm more worried when he gets
there is a lot of
big.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of scaling that happens with Cho'Gath.
Because that boy gets a lot of health.
Yes.
Amumu's the only one. Now Ashe can go Blade of the Ruined King, of course, and that'll definitely help to even that out. If Vel'Koz decides to go Liandry's, obviously that'll help too, because that's a % health damage burn. But Amumu in the base kit is the only champion for Concordia right now that does % health damage. So when that Cho'Gath really starts to get big and starts to get all that extra bonus health, he's really the only one that's going to be able to like do some damage. But he also has his passive, the curse, which a percentage of all magic damage done to a cursed enemy is dealt as true damage as well. So hopefully, with the Vel'Koz damage as well, maybe they'll be able to make enough of a dent to stop any early snowballing from the Cho'Gath. The Vi can be a little spooky early game. She's pretty strong. The Kai'Sa is kind of that's an odd one out for me, because Kai'Sa is pretty weak early, and she usually needs 2 to 3 items, at least for me, to feel like she's comfortably enough powerful. And so to go against somebody who's got some decent early power like Vel'Koz, I mean, Vel'Koz has got some solid damage early. So, that seems kind of like a pick out of left field to me. I mean, maybe they'll make it work.
So I'll give a little bit of insight as we have seen their OPGGs, so that's where a lot of our initial pick and bans go. The Kai'Sa, this is a one-trick Kai'Sa mid. Not a super one-trick. I'll just say they've played a lot of Kai'Sa mid. And so Neglect obviously has some experience here, and so that's where this pick comes through. And this is going to be ridiculous if this actually happens, this bot lane interaction coming through. As we'll see an early invade starting.
They're out of vision too.
They're out of vision now, and that's going to be first blood, and, well, it's going to go over to Kai'Sa. So, that's unfortunate for Concordia. Not prepared for that to come through, that invade. And an early first blood going over to Kai'Sa, which picks up a tier.
Defense, that was very smart pathing by
that was
the enemy team to stay up against that wall, because vision when you're in a bush is very screwy in this game. And so
the vision that you see, obviously you can see right here. Typically,
right.
If there's an invade, they're like running in from this side, whereas on that invade, literally just came up through here. And then, I mean, it was an issue where the AD carry decided to go a slight different direction at first, so she didn't have the full time to run with the support. Yeah. So a lot of damage was able to come down. Obviously, the catch. And wow, the bug avoiding some damage there. And Steva, he won't be going down. But he does expend his flash, and the bug is able to gain early lane advantage in the top. Meanwhile, down here, bot, we will see Blosif and Slayer doing what they do. Slayer also on his main, just for reference as well. That was banned out in the first game, left open in the second one to ban out the Jhin. So we'll see a little bit more in this game of comfort picks for Baker, so we'll see if Concordia is able to counter that, or if they'll have problems doing so. So, sometimes whenever you're trying to do pick bans, you see those comfort picks, and it scares you right off the bat, and that's initially what it did for us as well. You kind of see, like, previous champion pools that they've played and other stuff, so sometimes you have to decide, all right, is that really what they're grinding because they're good at it, or is that something they're grinding, and they actually have another secret pick in their pocket because they know it's going to get banned. So it's difficult to do pick and bans, but it makes it kind of fun because obviously then you have the chance to strategize. So the Bug gets a solo kill up there for himself. Very well done there against the Cho'Gath early.
Yeah, the Cho'Gath not respecting. I've learned the hard way. Respect the Darius damage.
Yes, and there's a lot of damage that he has, and that Blosif not going to be able. He gets a minion blocked there, and not going to find that hook. As Neglect just being pretty safe here in this lane, just trying to stay back and farm, just keeping up and farm well. Not, obviously respecting the Vel'Koz should have a lot of priority in that lane. Down bot, we are going to see a small advantage going in favor of the Samira. So across all lanes, and in the jungle now, we saw that there was that discrepancy in CS last game. Hopefully not quite as much in this game. El Gregazo is gonna maybe be in some trouble here if this gank does come through. Spending a lot of time there is the Vi from Olik. Just waiting for him to cross that magical line that means he's gone too far, and here comes the gank mid. El Gregazo gonna get jumped on. He'll flash early, and that will actually keep him pretty healthy. So now enough damage goes off. We're going to see Slayer getting jumped onto. Mr. Boogie Woogie's also going to show his face down here, and they will get the stun onto Blosif, but Sands of Time takes a lot of damage. And unfortunately, that feels just like how bad last game felt, where the damage is there, but unfortunately, Slayer and Blosif are able to get out by the hair of their chinny chin chin.
It seems it's
yeah, Mr. Boogie Woogie here finding Olik. I keep trying to call him something else. Finding Olik, and is going to take a lot of damage. He does a very interesting strategy, though. Go into the Dragon Pit so you can flash over the back of the wall. Interesting and very well done. He does get away. The Bug is going to be finding some damage here. Will he be able to out-damage? He does not, not because of the ultimate at the very end there. He just got his ultimate from that, but not able to find the damage. Leona, as they chase Blosif up here, but that's Olik coming in. Sands of Time is going to probably find his death. I spoke slightly too soon. Nope, they do find him. There he is, going down. Slayer, though, with no health left as he took that tower shot. And 2-0 is the support, as Slayer with 3 assists for him. So not getting ahead in gold quite yet, unfortunately, because all of the kills are going over to his support.
Yeah, the trade top between the Cho'Gath and the Darius was interesting, because I thought Darius had that, and then it looked like he just didn't auto the last auto?
Right. I don't know if he got the last auto or if there was... I don't know if... I'm trying to think about how that interaction works, or maybe it was a server bug on our end where we just didn't see something. Because he kind of just dies and was like, oh, well, yeah. He must have been an auto.
He had it, and I thought he was going to, like, auto-attack, and then he just stood there for a second, and then he died. I was like, well, all right.
So I'll give a little bit of insight. I apologize to those watching on stream. When we do our picks and bans technically in a app called I'll think of it here in a second. It's called Pro Draft, and it's a secondary website where we do all of our picks and bans. So when we get into game, we pick via our usual top jungle, mid, AD carry support. So technically, the Cho'Gath was picked, I believe, 3rd after the 2 top lane picks. Or no, was it picked last? It was like second round of picks. So there was a lot of top lane bans that went forward. Then the Cho'Gath was picked. So the Cho'Gath was last picked, essentially, for Baker. You just don't see it because I can't get that stream up because I'm usually with the team. So I apologize. It looks funny when we do picks and bans because it's so fast and it's like we're not even thinking about our picks and bans when really it's already been done. We've already had like our thought process through it. So the Cho'Gath was last picked for the side of Baker as we had banned out the Mundo and a whole bunch of other stuff against them already. So they had to find something else to get in there. We will see Steve coming in. He's going to try and find some damage on the bug, but he might be out of his element as he gets ulted and he does go down. He wasn't able to get the bug low enough to find the damage. Meanwhile, down bot lane, they are going to be in some trouble. Ooh, that's an unfortunate Ashe ultimate away from the fight. And Sands of Time is going to be very low, and that's going to be Blosif able to find that. There's the double kill now coming through for Slayer as he's going to find that gold in his pocket finally. So we'll see now that Concordia once again struggling here. The top lane seems to be going well for them, but in the bot lane, just really going in favor of Baker. And Baker is putting a lot of priority into it. I mean, the Vi has been down here often. Neglect has yet to come down this time, as I think he's really just having his own issues in the mid lane. He maybe did come down once because he's got a kill, and I can't remember where he got that.
I think he W'd down at one point.
Did he W down at one point? But
I don't think he fully roamed.
So yeah, we're gonna see now that they'll do some more fighting in this area. Olik is gonna come back and pick up this pink ward, takes that out. Meanwhile, Boogie Woogie keeping up much better on farm in comparison to his counterpart this time. Top lane, we're starting to see quite the discrepancy coming through on top of those 2 kills. So hopefully there, Concordia can find a bit of an advantage. Obviously, the Darius starts to fall off as the game goes further on, but hopefully we can see more picks coming through. That is going to be another Q found on by Blosif as the stuns come through for Sands of Time, and another stun as Slayer is going to be nearly dead. He does actually get shut down there at the very end. Flash Ignite used by Sands of Time. Top lane, we're going to see the bug getting into this fight. Not going to be good for him as Steva does end up getting a nice yum chew. Meanwhile, there is a little bit more fighting bot lane. That's not going to turn into anything. And we are going to see, just a kind of a stalemate kills in the bottom, but also a kill in the top.
Yep, if you ever wanted to know how to shut down a Darius, just bring a bunch of CC and knock him up 500 times. Interesting to me to watch the Samira Nautilus play together, though, because they... I definitely see why they tend to run this comp kind of as their main. The amount of CC just from the Nautilus and being able to trigger the Samira passive regularly. Samira does, from what I remember, bonus damage to enemies that are crowd controlled.
Right.
Hard crowd control, immobilized,
yes. Stunned, immobilized, not slows or anything, but yeah. So it really does help to have the Nautilus down here.
Yeah, Nautilus has 3 individual pieces of those in his kit, with the ult, obviously, the hook, and then the auto attack proc that can root you in place. So just a lot of damage, allowing Samira to really just kind of abuse that passive really well, and hard to counter, honestly. Samira's got a lot of defensive power too. If she times her W right, I believe she can block the Leona E. She can definitely block the Ashe ult as well. But just one of those champions where you got a good comp, and if you play it well, it ends up being even stronger, right? So
right. So there we saw a failed flash by Oleg as he tried to do a nice little flash over to get El Grigazo. And this is going to be Blosif and Slayer roaming up, as Neglect does get that kill, so that will give him another kill there in the mid lane. Gets himself officially a bounty of 200 gold. Down in the bot lane, they will be pressuring that turret, but their lane is going to be showing up here at some point. And Stiva now in a little bit of trouble, but Oleg is coming up to help. Will he be able to get there in time? Will they be able to get the Bug in time? Bug heals, though, and he gets one. And he's going to get two. Finds two. Double kill with his ultimate as he got enough health off of that Q to not be totally devoured by Stiva, who did try to ult him there at the very end, but just, I was a little concerned. I was seeing his health bar go low, as that's going to be a stun going on to Slayer, but oh man, Kaylin not able to get the kill because of her ultimate, and that's going to be Blosif also in a lot of trouble. There's the Q. He will fall, and that's a shutdown and a double kill in the bot. No, not a double kill. As one of the, no, it is a double kill because Leona got the first one earlier. I don't know. We're going to just talk about the fact that Concordia across the board goes 4 for 1.
And that's showing you the power of the counter engage from Leona. You know, Samira used that W to block the Ash Arrow. It's like, okay, well, you can't block the Leona ultimate.
Can't block Leona ultimate. You can't block a Leona point and click. And yeah, I mean, yeah, block the Ash Arrow, which was big. Mr. Boogie Woogie gonna find Oleg here. I think they're just gonna smite fight for the crab, which Mr. Boogie Woogie wins. That was hilarious. They literally walked next to each other and kind of said, sup, we gonna fight for the crab? Yes. So they fought for the crab. Unfortunate though, as this looks like it's going to be, they're gonna drag this out, of course. Concordia needs to try and fight for this. That is going to be Red Team getting that kill onto the dragon. Concordia is trying to fight over the wall, but there's not enough. Slayer hops over the wall, but he could be in some trouble, actually.
Ooh.
He gets a lot of damage thrown onto him. Steva tries to get up there. He's just not able to finish off anything. All of Baker is down here to try and get a kill. Meanwhile, top lane, that's going to be first turret going over to the Bug as they are still down here. That is finally going to be a kill. They combo Neglect's Q into the knockup quite nicely. Blosif, though, takes 2 tower shots, so we're going to see how this fight turns out as they might be down a lot of health. The minions now get up to turret range, so that's going to be really far forward. Neglect is going to get the first kill. Sands of Time going to get as many stuns as he can as they are going to balance that turret aggro. And so 2 for nothing, and then they'll get a turret. Meanwhile, top lane, he will have a lot. He does get the next turret. So a lot opened up top lane going into the Bug's pocket, which is, I mean, a net kind of even at the moment, but we'll see how it sort of turns out, as honestly, the gold is still in favor for Baker University.
Yep. This is actually kind of why I like the Darius pick. Yeah, eventually it does get outscaled by the Cho'Gath just being super tanky and being able to just eat pretty much whatever he wants. But if you eat the Cho'Gath early before he eats you, then you're at an advantage. You've got good scaling in the Darius with your AD items, with your health, with your regen from your Qs, being able to hit those. And then you have the true damage and the armor penetration from your, I think it's his E that gives him armor pen. So you're still going to be able to, you know, kind of duel and mess around. Ooh.
We're going to see a fight going on here as Oleg does try to catch out the Bug. Isn't going to be able to get the kill there. And they will find a kill on the other side. The Bug gets a double. He'll flash out of that. We'll see if El Grigazo can get away from this as well. He goes back in, which is weird. And he now is going to try and find his way out of this fight as well. It'll be a 2 for 1 as Mr. Boogie Woogie will fall. But Slayer and Oleg both go down. I think in the end they will net even. With this take on the Rift Herald. Meanwhile, though, bot lane is going to get a lot of damage on that turret. So across the board, Concordia wins. And I say that because look at this gold right now.
I was muted and talking to myself.
You were
That was
talking to yourself.
great.
Great. Look at the gold. Concordia has brought it back within 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it's within 1,000.
And
That's exactly
that
what
I
was
think
gonna
is
say.
why I'm going to say Concordia wins this right now. Well, sorry, won that exchange that went down because the gold is brought back even. Now, a lot of that gold is on the bug. So it is kind of a hard sell to say that, ooh, wow, that's going to really turn this around and get a big win because it's all on one person. But it does help to bring Concordia back into this game a little bit more than where they were before. So,
Right. It gives you a win
it's-
condition.
It does. It does give a win condition. We can work around the fact that the bug is doing really well. And other people are also doing well. Bot lane is starting to kind of pick up the pace and go even down there. Mid lane is the only thing really struggling, but we just saw in that last exchange, El Gringazo isn't totally damageless. And he does scale pretty well, especially against true damage. When he has true damage, so especially against your more health tanks. So, it really could turn into how do these team fights start coming together to determine this game. There's a lot of CC for both sides. There's a lot of catch potential for both sides. There's pretty decent disengage if you're on the Concordia side. Leona can disengage for about a year and a half. You also have the Amumu, who can help engage and disengage for about a year and a half. So it's like, really, this is exciting. Like, this is the exciting game that we sort of missed out on the first game to see. I don't know. We're just going to have to see how this fight comes up because there's going to be a fight mid here soon, as I don't know when this next dragon is up, but it is definitely within 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's ultimately just going to come down to, who plays their comp better and if Cho'Gath scales into the late game. I do want to point out I was really impressed in the disengage bot lane during that fight post dragon. Samira came in and wanted a bunch of what Concordia had, and Leona saw her ult and was like, nope, Q stun, no damage. Everybody walked out and left. And then they all died under turret, but that's beside the point.
But that's beside the point. So we're gonna see that. So I was about to say the issue with this Death Brush is that at any point they could throw a Q in there and hit the Ashe. That's what happened, and so a lot of damage comes down onto the Ashe for Concordia. Concordia really wanted a pick somewhere in there and just didn't get it. And right now we're going to see this dragon get started up, but Sands of Time is already really low on health and just immediately gets deleted. That's going to be a lot of damage onto Blosif, though, and Concordia could bring this back. The bug is really low in this fight. Meanwhile, the dragon does get taken. Concordia actually picks it up, Mr. Boogie Woogie, in a very troublesome situation as the ace comes through for Baker University. And with that, they'll be able to get quite a bit of gold, like 700 gold off of the bug, and bring themselves back with a nice gold lead, even though they lose the Drake.
I do see where the power of the Kai'Sa is kind of coming from. Optimizing to go for AP and going for poke with that W.
Yes.
She's got the Ludens. She's got her Manamune maxed. She's got whatever the little stopwatch-looking device is. I forget what it's called.
It is called, it's the Hextech alternator.
Yeah, there you go. Got that, which is going to provide a little more pop on top of everything. And, we've been seeing those W's are hurting. The W scales very well with the AP. Her passive scales well with the AP and doing % health damage with her autos. So I definitely see how they get it to work. It's a poke down comp, kind of
Right.
like your Corki, kind of like your kind of like your Ezreal.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah, it is actually a pretty decent move. Like I said, we knew that it was going to be their mid lane pick if the Corki was banned, and you can see it coming through. Sands of Time and Mr. Boogie Woogie both showing up here, along with the rest of the Concordia team. A little aggression coming out of them all of a sudden here, trying to get onto Neglect. Honestly, but that's a lot of damage coming through. They're not going to be able to do it. This is going to be the Bug, also in a lot of trouble, but he does get one ult. Can he get a Q off? No, he doesn't. He will not be able to get his health back. So 3 for 1. And Concordia trying to do something cheeky there, try to get, kind of an aggressive push into the jungle of the enemy, kind of a sneak attack almost. Doesn't end up paying off, though.
Not really the fight they were looking for. The Kaisa running this build, she's not going to let you get in range of her.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, she wants to stay away. She wants to throw Qs, and then she wants to come in whenever she can one-shot you.
Right.
But
and she's got Shadow Flame now too, which is kind of like, my understanding is it's similar to
oh my gosh, the damage from El Grigazo. He's got it, but then again, look, he just got half health one shot from Neglect. So
yeah, Shadow Flame is an item they added in one of the more recent patches, and it basically just gives mages a bunch of damage. You get a lot of flat magic pen, especially if you're shielded, and it grants more magic pen if they have less health.
Yeah.
So it's really
at
just
1,000 or less health, they gain the maximum of 20 magic pen. And
then plus, once you evolve the Kaisa W, if you hit it, it has like a third of the cooldown.
Big fight coming here, as we're going to see everybody going just left and right. However, the damage is not there for Concordia, and it is going to be there on the side of Baker University, as their only fall is going to be Slayer. Mr. Boogie Woogie and the Bug. Boogie Woogie went in and ulted, had a great engage, I thought, but then just kind of disappeared. Like, that's going to be how it is for him. Able to get away from one, and does find a kill in return, but Neglect is, of course, still alive. 12-0, and just unstoppable at the moment. So, can for sure see why Neglect is on this champion. It is very scary. Then again, I can also see where if you just shut him down, he can't do a lot. And unfortunately, Concordia just doesn't have that right now. And it is too late, in my opinion, for trying to shut him down without all-inning on him and not having anyone else around. So we'll see if this steal happens. It will not, so the Bug and the rest of the gang are going to lose out on that red buff. We'll see what Concordia plans to do next, but more importantly, I think we're really just kind of waiting to see what Baker does to close out this game. They will be going for their third Drake here. Getting more attack speed is always nice. I think that's correct. That's correct, right? That Drake gives attack speed. For some reason, I feel like I'm blanking out on why that's not correct. But we'll see them start to push up mid. The top lane is pushing in their favor at the moment. But Concordia now firmly trying to claw their way back into it. They are 8k gold down. A lot of that gold is on Neglect, but I would say a pretty decent amount is also sitting in the pocket of Slayer, who's up 50, almost 50 CS. Mr. Boogie Woogie gets caught out here, not able to do anything. That's going to send Neglect to 13-0, 700. Jiminy Christmas, 1 Q doing about a 3/4 of El Grigazo's health. And that's all he has to do is fire Qs in the back. Keep firing Qs in the back. Just fire more Qs from the back. And that's how they'll do it. So they will end up trying. They're not able to super crack the base of Concordia, so they are going to go for the Baron as a way to help secure that, which, probably the safe call. They really honestly could take a straight-up team fight against Concordia. Neglect literally just had to land 1 or 2 Qs, even onto the tanks of Boogie Woogie and the Bug, and they'll have a good time. The Bug has a Thorn Mail, but gosh, it's really not doing a lot here against Neglect or anyone else. Would have been a lot better to have gone I'm going to, of course, blank on the item's name because, when I'm trying to look professional, I just blank
Spirit
on the
Visage
name.
would be good.
Spirit
Force of
Visage!
Nature would maybe be good as well. Just
Yeah.
gives you more speed when you get hit by damaging abilities and such.
Yeah, the Spirit Visage would be the best. I was thinking Spectre's Cowl, a part of the Spirit Visage, that really helps, especially if you're playing against mages and you're trying to be a bruiser. So, that's something too. The itemization from Concordia, maybe not the cleanest that it could be. We saw that in the last game, though, as well. Something they just have to work on as the season goes on. Really in these games thinking about it.
I don't think the itemization is terrible. I really think the goal needs to be to just build to eat through the enemy team and not give them much time to poke, if possible. And that may not be possible with these champions, with these builds, but that's kind of what I would go for, because
in the back, we're just gonna see Oleg just doing everything he can to destroy the Ashe. That's a Q, I think, simply from Neglect. No, actually, El Grigazo was taken out by Slayer. But we'll just see now, as this is probably going to be the final push for Baker University. Pushing in. It looked like it was going to be somewhat close in the mid-game, and then things just slowly started going Baker's direction with Neglect basically being unkillable and having so much power. And yeah, we'll see that Concordia will fall 2-0 to Baker here in week 1 of the NECC. So real quick, we'll hop over and just take a look at the damage graphs for everything and kind of just seal this game up, as it was sort of heading that direction in the end there anyways. So obviously a lot of damage, for Neglect. But, I mean, this was the promising feature that Concordia did at least keep up in damage otherwise.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think Concordia had a great comp that they played really well. It's just the range and the repetitive poke damage from the Kaisa that it's hard to match that much range when they've got that much practice on that way of playing, if that makes sense. So
no, I agree, because whenever you get someone in there that is more of a one, like I won't say one trick just because that doesn't feel like it gives Neglect credit for being a good player, but I'll say they have a lot of practice on that Kaisa in the mid lane. So they are able to know what the matchup looks like, know that they just have to simply farm it out till they get enough AP. Then they just turn on the Qs and let it rain. So GG's to Baker University. We'll be signing off tonight. Next week we'll have, of course, our whole slew of games yet again. So I just want to thank you, Josh, for joining us and helping me to shoutcast these games. It's been a pleasure. Everybody, please check out The Iron Praetor on twitch.tv, and thank you very much for helping out tonight.
Yep, of course, anytime. Always happy to come in and cast some fun games. They may be losses, but it's still fun. There's always learning to be done, and so I think it was a great time.
Absolutely. So now I have a whole entourage behind me that is simply staring at me, holding some pink hair dye.
Uh-oh.
Smells bad here.
We will see you next week. And on Twitter, be looking for my pink hair. We'll see you all next time.